Let me tell you something, okay? Democracy in Massachusetts, it's gone. It's dead. It's probably never even been here before. There is a crisis happening inside of our Commonwealth. It's happening. It's been happening, and it is only getting worse. But now we have the ACLU, our so-called political leaders, our politicians here, Common Cause, and the Massachusetts Newspaper Publishers Association. What they decided to do is they decided, and this has probably been planned for a real long time, guys, real long time. They decided to go inside of a back room, huddle up, you know, with their scarves on and their arms around each other. And basically, they're trying to figure out every single which way that's within their power and outside of their power to screw us. We have absolutely no ethical representation here. We have no ethical voices here. We have no rights here. We have absolutely nobody coming to help us. We have absolutely nobody coming to save us. All of these people are doing this with like some sort of supreme ego, immunity, arrogance. I don't even know what the hell to call it, okay? But what they're doing now is they're putting up more legislative roadblocks to block who other than the auditor. That's right. It's only happening again right after she got a potential minor victory at the Supreme Judicial Court hearing against none other than our Attorney General, Andrea Campbell. Listen, I'm going to play this video for you, but I had a lot of time last night. I had a long drive last night, and I had a lot of opportunities to talk to people, and I had a lot of opportunities to watch the video. I'm going to play it for you, and of course, I have to give some commentary on this video, but I don't care if you're from Massachusetts. I don't care if you're from California. I don't care if you're from Texas. This is what is happening. This is what happens when you have absolute one-party power. This is what happens. 110%. Watch this video. Watch this video.
Hey guys, I am taking to doing a video right now, and I don't normally do this, but I am so deeply disturbed by what I am witnessing in our state house. I just got word that the House of Representatives is getting ready to pass a bill into law that essentially negates everything that you voted for in the November 2024 ballot question, to have my office conduct an audit of the state legislature and provide some independent oversight.
If you're watching and you don't know what that means, or perhaps you're from another state, I know a lot of you watching this channel knows what this means, but there may be some people out there that are unfamiliar. They know there's an audit, or they're outside of Massachusetts. So basically, we have one of the least transparent legislatures in the entire country. They do everything behind closed doors. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. If you're a journalist and you want to submit some sort of public records request to which is normally, generally throughout the country, public information, you can't access it. So back in November of 24, there was a ballot initiative that was the almost the entire state voted yes on this. It was 72%. I have the sweatshirt on, where Diana, who is also a Democrat, by the way, she would have the authority to audit the legislature, look at the books, see receipts, see the contracts, see all the nonsense that is happening. And this has been a long battle, and now this is what it's come to.
They are painting this as some sort of a transparency measure. They are conducting a victory lap right now for themselves, patting themselves on the back for helping to ensure transparency and accountability and using all the buzzwords. They have gotten a couple of people.
It's all bullshit.
From organizations such as the ACLU, the Newspaper Association, and Common Cause, which is an organization that I used to respect. And what they did, what these transparency advocates did, what the ACLU, the Newspaper Association, and Common Cause did, is they got together behind closed doors and discussed how to change the law that you voted for, relinquish the ability of the auditor's office to simply requesting a handful of documents that they say we're allowed to look at. And they also simultaneously empower themselves to be able to decide whether or not our request for those said records that they say that they're allegedly going to allow us to have the privilege as taxpayers of viewing, that they give themselves the authority to decide whether or not our request was actually fulfilled or not.
So just so you understand what she's talking about here, number one, they're limiting the overall scope of the audit. It's being limited to what she could request. But then they take it a step further. So if her office makes a request, this is the way I interpret this. If her office makes a request, there's no telling whether or not they're actually going to submit the documents or not submit the documents. The only time that the auditor's office will know is if they actually receive the documents. If she doesn't receive the documents, and I guess a period of time goes by, I believe what she could do is file some kind of dispute, right? She could file some kind of dispute. But when you really boil things down, you have to think to yourself, why are the lengths that they're going through? Why are they going to such great lengths to protect themselves? Think about it that way. And by the way, the document, I could maybe, if I remember, I'll share that on my screen too. The bill that they're voting on today, by the way. So this came out last night. They didn't even have a chance to look at it. Okay, these people are voting on this. They didn't even have a chance to look at it. They're voting on it this morning. It might have already been voted on by the time this video gets published on YouTube. Like, that's how crazy this is. That is how crazy that this is. But the bill that they initiated was originally a somewhat of a budget bill. I don't know if it was like a supplemental thing. Maura Healey, our other, if you want to call her a governor, I wouldn't let her run a doghouse for that matter. But what she did is she initiated this. And then, so I'm not saying that this is entirely her fault, but she initiated this bill, and then what they did is they snuck it. I'll show you exactly what it is. They snuck in all this other language into a bill because when it's a budget, this is my understanding, when it's like a budget bill, these things move very quickly. So what our legislature does is this is basically speed running, getting a bill through. That's what this is. If this was just in regards to the audit, I think this would have taken a lot more time to get from point A to point B. But since this was let's say, a budget issue that the governor initiated, I think it's a problem. I think all of these people are working together. They are all working together. I even think that this specific bill, I think that this has probably been written for the last year. It's probably been written for the last year. The ACLU is one of the most problematic organizations in not only in the country, but especially here in Massachusetts. They are helping, in my opinion, I think that they're helping write this specific legislation amongst others, okay? They have too much influence and too much power. They do. They have too much influence and too much power on our state government. And they are the ones that get to donate back to these politicians to help move the needle. Do you see what I'm saying? It is purely corruption, in my opinion. It is completely outrageous that we have to deal with this nonsense. It really is.
For a few records. In addition, to add insult to injury, with this violation of the people's co-equal right to create laws, because we the people have a co-equal right to create laws alongside of the legislature. They are not a bunch of kings and queens running around. We the people have a co-equal right with the legislature under our Constitution to create laws. So in addition to them trying to violate our co-equal right to create laws, they also have language in this bill that says that the courts are not even allowed to adjudicate these matters, that if there's any disagreement about that the few little records that they're going to breadcrumb us with, that if even on those things we have any sort of a disagreement, they are saying that the courts don't have a right to hear the case, adjudicate it, and settle a dispute.
So that means if that means there's a problem with something that she requested, I think within those documents themselves, basically the legislature has absolute immunity. That, in a nutshell, that's really what's going on.
In the power of the court, disempowering the courts, further empowering themselves. I don't recognize our state legislature right now. I don't recognize what they are doing right now as being anything even close to what a democratic government looks like.
Because it's not, Diana. It's not, and it never has been. How long have I been talking about this? This is everything that they do is with either their self-interest or their own interests in mind, or people that are given the money. I mean, that's the reality of what's going on. They are. It's insane that this is even happening. Really, it is insane that this is even happening. But the writing is on the wall. You could see how they do things, right? You could see how fast they pass what they want to pass. You could see the no big contracts that people hand out to their political like the entire, like, listen, if this was a one-time issue with just the audit, of course it would be bad. But they have a history, right? They have a track record of being problematic and being unethical. That's the truth. But a lot of people put blinders on, and I'm not saying that in regards to the auditor. A lot of people, it's easier to be naive and look away, right? But that's the truth about the Massachusetts legislature. It is completely crooked.
They get together behind closed doors with people calling themselves transparency advocates who are friends of the establishment. They get them to say a couple of nice things about what's happening, probably having traded something for themselves in it. We don't know. They didn't even speak to the auditor's office about this proposed change to the auditor's office's governing statute, to the law that dictates how we get to do our jobs. They didn't even speak to us. They didn't hold a public hearing. They're just releasing this today. They didn't even give a full business day because they're taking this up tomorrow. And they're telling our state representatives to come in and to vote on this because Mr. Speaker wants it.
And here's what's going to happen. All of the Republicans are going to vote no on the bill. And almost every single Democrat, because they are absolutely beholden to the legislature. Listen, you guys, if you're watching this video, and I know some of you do, you guys, listen, I understand you have your political careers to worry about. I understand you have, maybe your house and your family and your kids. But at some point, you have to see what is happening in front of you. I mean, you have to at least recognize what the hell is going on here. Don't be a sucker to these these, as she said, these, you want to know what real kings and queens are? That is how this legislature and the powerful members inside of this legislature are operating. Guys, you need to do the right thing, okay? You need to do, I know you know what the right thing is. I know you do know what the right thing is, and you probably talk about these issues behind closed doors. I'm 100% certain of this, okay? Not everybody could look at these bills and just vote yes down the entire way. You are getting you're getting influenced by these people, and I honestly think that a good majority of you probably have the right, you have the right ambitions in mind, but you're also beholden to these people, right? It's like being in prison, for God's sakes. It's insane.
And Mr. Speaker has gotten a few people to align with him and to pat him on the back and to say, great job. Guys, this is not about an audit.
No, absolutely not.
I know that the audit is the thing that people are talking about. This is about so much more. This started as an audit. This started as being about an audit. What is happening in the legislature right now with the House of Representatives, so-called representatives, what the House of so-called representatives is doing right now is they are telling you that your vote did not matter, but they're doing it by saying, oh no, we're going to respect your vote. We're going to give a couple of little alleged trinkets that we feel are necessary to give to try to act like we're doing something transparent. We have a couple of people who call themselves transparency advocates to give us cover.
That's the
ACLU. Who
ACLU.
also didn't speak with the auditor's office at all, and also didn't demand any public hearing about this. And we're going to go around and claim a victory and say, this is what you wanted. And anyone who says that it's not enough, they're going to try to act as though, what? The people asked for too much? The people don't know what they voted for? The people don't understand? They're smarter than the rest of the people?
That's what they claim, by the way.
This is not a step in the right direction.
I just want to pause for a second. That's the narrative. I don't know if you've seen the videos from Mass Fiscal, because they've been going to a lot of different, public meetings or hearings or whatever it may be. And what our legislature is trying to do is they're insulting you guys, okay? I don't even think you guys realize what's going on. They're insulting you by saying, oh, the people inside of Massachusetts didn't know what they're voting for. Yes, they did. They're doing everything in their power. Everything in their power. I think they're getting they're probably getting some consulting on this, and more than likely it's coming from the ACLU or some other ridiculous organization. Somebody is consulting them on this, because they're all in it together, and everything that's been done from the start with the Attorney General to the point that we're at today, everything has been done in some uniform, pre-calculated manner. That's really what's going on here. And as I said earlier, I think that this bill's probably been written for a year. It's probably been written for a damn year or something like that, or cooking, right? It's probably been cooking for that long. But the politicians in Massachusetts, they think you're stupid. That's what these people honestly think. They think that you don't know what you're voting for. The only thing that I think that these people don't know what they're voting for is you guys. That's what people don't know what the hell they're voting for. They vote for something and then they get something completely different, okay? Because you guys are absolutely crooked.
This is craziness. This is what authoritarianism looks like.
1,000%.
It looks like powerful people calling some friends that they have, asking for their support, having backroom conversations and deals made that we didn't get to see, all coming out together with unified statements, surprising all of us that they got together behind closed doors and came up with a bill that they're gonna tell us is good for the Commonwealth.
No, it's good for them.
No participation from us. No conversations with us. Because they don't need to have a conversation with us. Why would they need to talk to we the people about anything that they're doing on Beacon Hill? They have friends who are going to have their back. And they can just make laws without talking to any of us. And they want to continue this charade that we actually have a seat at the table. I don't recognize our state legislature anymore, and I hope at least a few reps decide to take a stand against what is happening at the State House by voting no.
That's what's going on in Massachusetts. And again, this is a Democrat auditor, okay? An audit is not a one-sided thing. It is a completely bipartisan thing. And the reason the audit is so important, as you guys know, is that I think that it is one of the largest stepping stones to getting to a point where we could kind of, heal Massachusetts, kind of cut any kind of bloat or waste or, insider deals and all of the other nonsense that's happening here. It's a stepping stone to see what's really going on. Where is the money going? All of these other things. And again, we have a lot of if you're new to the channel, we have a lot of issues in Massachusetts. We're a very wealthy state, but we have a Democratic majority here that has some people's best interest in mind, but not all people's best interest in mind. And what they like to do is they like to prioritize their pet projects and all of this other stuff and basically throw money into the absolute garbage, our money into the absolute garbage. That's what's going on. So this audit was a stepping stone to getting to a point of clarity. And also, it's in in my opinion, in theory, I would think that it is in the legislature's best interest as well, because they know that everybody knows that they're not transparent. This is as Diana said, this extends beyond the audit. And what's really scary about stuff like this is, guys, if you're not from Massachusetts, we have the ability, the people have some ability, well, we used to generate law. Right? That's if the majority of the look at it this way. If the majority of people want something, how is it humanly possible, if it is a good idea and the entire state or the majority of the state wants something, to just shut it down immediately by every single trick in the book that they tried to pull with this? I think about the future. Right? Why even have ballot initiatives anymore? Really? Why don't we just think about it? What is the point of it? What is the point of doing it and getting the people together to vote on something that they believe in? Spending the time, spending the money, spending the resources to have this happen. It's only going to happen again and again and again. The fact remains, they will pass something that the people want that aligns with their best interest and the best interest of the nonprofits and the NGOs and all the other people that do the shady things behind closed doors. That's the honest to God truth. And meanwhile, we have the auditor here almost in tears talking about her party. That's what's going on here. And she's in a position where she's ostracized from the party for simply wanting to look and see where the money is going in Massachusetts. The reason they don't want you to know where the money is going, because it is probably going to absolutely ridiculous things. And that's the honest to God truth. I cannot stand these people, and I cannot even believe that we have to deal with this. This is where democracy absolutely dies. That's what's going on here. And all these people are going to do today, after they have their whole Democratic majority and the state reps vote yes on this, because none of you have any kind of balls, let's just be honest with you, they're going to have a victory lap. They're going to have a celebration. And that's just the way that it is. And you guys are like suckers in there, okay? You guys are like absolute suckers. Can't you stand up for yourself? Jesus. I understand that this is what happened. This is what standing up for yourself looks like, okay? I may not agree with the auditor on every little thing that she does, okay? But that doesn't matter to me. We agree on things that are important. I don't care about some of if there's like a fringe talking point or whatever. I don't care, right? It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to not be friends or not talk to somebody because we agree or we disagree on one thing, but agree on 9 things, okay? You have to do the right thing. You guys should, I mean, it may already be too late. It's, what is it? Let me see what time it is. Hold on one second here. It is 11 o'clock. Okay, so did they vote? Here, let me share my screen. Actually, I'm not really set up for this. I'm curious if they voted on this. Hang on. Let's see. Did they vote on the bill? It's completely crazy that we have to deal with this stuff, guys. Because again, it just leads me down the path of like, are they really representing our best interest or are they representing their best interest? Okay, it says June 3rd, which is today. Timing, has it passed the House? Not yet. It is scheduled. So I may even try to live stream. I guarantee you it's not going to be public. I mean, I highly doubt it. Maybe there'll be some people there. Maybe hopefully like Tim Dunn or somebody is there if they'll even let him in the door. But we need help here in Massachusetts. We really and truly do. I hope some people, you know, my hope is that not even this video, but I hope that some, you know, people that have bigger audiences that are outside of Massachusetts share or watch the auditor's video. That's my hope. So that people around the country could see what it looks like when democracy is dead. That's what's happening in Massachusetts. I am so pissed off at what is happening, guys. So pissed off. I've advocated so hard. So did everybody else in regards to the audit. Everybody was on board with this damn thing, and they're doing everything in their power to try to stop it. It's despicable, guys. It truly is. That's it.